When I nominated, my name is Sid Strummy, and I nominated Rocky Kukla, a real good friend of mine. But when I asked the people that I thought would represent him, none of them could be here. But if you hire, Rocky's a very busy man. He runs a feedlot, and all of the people that he associates with are busy. Bud couldn't be here. The lady that I'm going to read the letter from now couldn't be here because her grandson had a birthday at the same time, but she'll be here tonight. But it's a letter from Sharon Hansen. And it says, Dear North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Board of Directors and Trustees, my name is Sharon Hansen, and only a date with my grandson who turns 1 today could keep me from being here to testify my support for Rocky Kukla's nomination for introduction to the North Dakota Hall of Fame. More importantly, I'm writing this letter to support on behalf of my late husband, Doug Hansen, who would have championed Rocky's nomination and induction to the North Dakota Hall of Fame had he been alive today. At the Killdeer Rodeo High School, Doug was a coach, and he coached Rocky in his early years and came to believe in the sport of the young cowboy's dream of making his mark on the back of a saddle bronc in the PRCA. Doug hauled Rocky to his first PRCA rodeos and taught him that all-important rule, thou shalt drive all night without sleep to get to the next rodeo. Rocky was also willing to spend the extra time needed to improve his techniques and land in the winner's circuit. After qualifying for the National High School Rodeo Finals, Doug had Rocky riding 3 head 3 times a week to prepare for the Nationals. Rocky mentioned to Doug that his arm was getting sore. Doug replied in his usual no-nonsense style, as soon as you learn to lift on the rein, Rocky, your arm will quit hurting. And so Rocky did learn, and he went on to leave his mark as one of the best saddle bronc riders in the nation. Only an injury before the 1984 National Finals Rodeo kept Rocky from his dream. Great cowboys usually have a reputation of performing well both inside and outside the arena. Rocky has proven by his saddle bronc riding skills and accomplishment, as well as by his character outside of the arena, that he's truly one of the best North Dakota has to offer, and he belongs in the North Dakota Hall of Fame. When Doug was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, Rocky was one of the first to show up on our doorstep, asking what he could do for us. And he did not just come once, he continued to visit us even when Doug no longer could speak, and exchanged rodeo tales with him. Rocky offered his emotional and financial support to our family throughout those trying days. On behalf of my late husband, Doug, I strongly encourage you to vote for Rocky's induction. He would definitely do us North Dakotans proud. Thank you, Sharon Hansen. And my final person to speak was Brad Germanson. And Brad is an 8-second rider, and he's an 8-second talker, so here it is. And Brad's going to be here tonight, by the way, as well. Rocky is for sure one of the great North Dakota bronc riders. We traveled together many miles to rodeos for several years. I've seen Rocky make good rides on great horses throughout the U.S., Canada, and Australia. Unfortunately, injuries prevented him from qualifying for the NFR. Rocky was a true competitor and is definitely a rodeo cowboy deserving of North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. Sincerely, Brad Germanson. And that's... Thank you very much, and I appreciate you voting for Rocky.
Hello, I'm Kirk Olson. I'm the trustee chair for District 3. Of course, you can read about Rocky, what he did bronc riding, but I want to share a story. I rode bulls mainly back in the day, but at one point I wanted to ride broncs. I figured it might extend my career a little bit instead of being a bull rider. And Rocky, of course, he was just finishing up as I was just starting, and I went to a bronc riding school. It was Rocky and Bud Pauley, And actually, Jesse Bale got on his first bronc there with me when I got on my first bronc. And, Rocky was a great teacher. He had the patience. He taught, he could explain. Even people, like me that maybe weren't the greatest bronc rider, he had the patience and knew how to explain things and helped us all along our way. So appreciate if you guys could consider him for the induction in the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bud Pauley, and I'd like to take this opportunity right now to thank all the board directors for the Cowboy Hall of Fame for all the hard work that they do, and the nominating committee for nominating and bringing us a great bunch of people, great bunch of nominees to get to vote on. The trustees can have a hard time voting on the right people all the time. I mean, they're all right. They're all good. They're all well-deserving. But I'm here for my good friend, Rocky Kukla. Great guy, great bronc rider, and just one of the hardest working, nicest young men that I was ever had the opportunity to rodeo with. And Rocky and I rode together, competed against each other, and rodeoed all through the 80s. And Rocky went through some good times and some hard times. But he's a two-time champion of the Home on the Range. And personally, I think if you're from North Dakota and you've won the Home on the Range, you should be in the Hall of Fame. And he went 5 times finishing in the top 20 of the world. And the year that he had the finals made in Omaha, late in October, there's only a few rodeos left at that time, and he had the finals made, and the horse rolled around the gate and broke his leg. And that just took all the chances for Rocky to make the finals. And he won money at all the big rodeos. He won second at Calgary, second at Pendleton, placed at Houston, San Francisco, all of them. And so Rocky, one thing about Rocky, made just a ton of friends, a lot of friends. And so I called 4 times world champion saddle bronc rider Clint Johnson, and I said, Clint, I said, they've asked me to represent Rocky at the nomination banquet and the winter banquet, and I just can't be there. I'm going to be out of state. And I said, so I'm going to try to do a video. And I said, he's been nominated to go into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. And Clint said, what, really? He said, I would have thought he would have been nominated and inducted years ago. And I said, well, yeah, I did too, but now we have a chance to right a wrong. I mean, that just kind of goes to show you how many great cowboys that the state of North Dakota has, and so here we got a chance to put another one into this great building, and it is well deserved. Rocky deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, along with the other guys too, and that's what makes it really tough, is having to pick 1 out of 4 or 2 out of 4, or however you got to do it. It just makes it really tough. So, but I got to see maybe one of the greatest friendships develop of all time with 7 times world champion bareback rider Joe Alexander. And when Rocky went to California, Joe and Cindy just basically adopted Rock. I mean, he'd go out there and stay the whole month of April, and they would have more fun. And so I called Joe and I said, Rocky's been nominated to go into the Cowboy Hall of Fame. And he said, oh man, well deserved. He said, that would really mean a lot to Rocky. And one story I kind of like to talk about or tell on Joe Alexander is one time we were just kids, or I was just a kid, and Joe was at the end of his career. And I said, Joe, what is it like to win the world 7 times? And he said, oh, that's just something that you can kind of look back on and feel good about. And, this is Rocky's opportunity right here to look back on his rodeo career and get inducted into this great institution and look back and feel good about. And so I'm asking you to really consider Rocky at this time, and and I know he's well deserving and he's well appreciative, and that's just one of my biggest hopes is that Rockie can get into the Hall of Fame. So I'd like to take this opportunity again to thank everyone, and good luck to everyone, and have fun. Wish I was there, but probably going to be warmer where I'm going to be. Thanks again. Bye.